The night of September 10th started out with a demonstration to open a shelter for the homeless in New Brunswick, New Jersey. It ended with 4 young women, all students at Rutgers University, strip-searched by local police. Tonight, as our David Miller reports, the women are outraged, and local officials say they got what they deserved.
New Brunswick, New Jersey, a small, usually peaceful town, the home of Rutgers University.
When the policewomen came to strip search us, it was really, it made me physically ill because you're just thinking, who was watching you?
Students here are typical.
She said, okay, turn around and pull your underwear away from your body. And so I did it as quickly as I could without trying to think about it.
Many of them are politically active and openly voice their opinions.
It is a form of rape, and in rape you get embarrassed and you don't talk about it. We're going to tell our story to hopefully that it doesn't happen again.
It happened here. The women planned to spend the night at New Brunswick City Hall to demonstrate the closing of a local shelter for the homeless. Shortly after they arrived, they were arrested and charged with defiant trespass.
Before we were arrested, they told us that we would have bail set at $200 and that the women would be strip searched.
And we were arrested, we were put in handcuffs, and we were taken to the police station.
Throughout those hours that we were in jail, I kept hearing that this officer was coming from East Brunswick to strip search us. And I must have heard it 5 or 6 times, so it was a constant sense of this impending strip search.
At that point, I heard Kristen say, because we could talk to each other, we couldn't see each other, we could talk to each other. I heard Kristen say, look, there's a monitor, there's a camera in the cell. She turned to me first. She said, let's do you first. I was in the cell at Tina Wisehouse. She turned to me and said, let's do you first. She said, take off your shoes, take off your pants. She checked what was in my pants. I had some money in my pants. She said, take off my shirt. She said then to pull my bra and underwear away from my body and to turn around.
I watched while Faith was taking her clothes off, and that was pretty upsetting to watch that. And then it was my turn, and she told me to take my clothes off. And about half a minute after she left, a policeman came, and I was still getting dressed. He didn't give me sufficient time to get dressed, and he viewed me partially unclothed when I was putting my slip on.
Was anyone watching a TV monitor? What do you think?
I think that it's very possible that people were viewing or disrobing, and it really makes me disgusted to think that they would do that.
3 men were arrested the same night. They went through the same booking procedure, except for one thing. Well, I don't understand, Sam, why would the women you're with be strip searched and you were left virtually untouched?
That very fact really got to me after the whole event. I didn't understand. The men looked far more menacing. The women looked like your typical college Rutgers students. They had Tina's a mother. She looks like a mother. And the women looked very college-y.
New Brunswick Police Department conducted an investigation and found no wrongdoing. Captain David Bishop gathered the facts. You didn't have to strip search these 4 women, though. You didn't have to do it.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Because you had 4 females that were, in all our belief, to be transported by police personnel to another detention facility. And it's under the rules and regulations of the department, as well as the Attorney General's office directive, to do so.
While I was being strip searched, my husband was paying bail in the other room, and I was called out. I was told that I could leave, and I had my clothes off, and I had to call and say that I had to get dressed.
Our belief was at that time that they would be unable to post bail, and the likelihood was that they would have to be incarcerated.
Now, the women involved say that in their cell, while they were getting strip searched, there was a television camera, and they seem to feel that it's very possible someone was watching them.
I don't believe this to be true at all.
But why did you decide to strip search the women and not the men?
I don't know. I didn't have to address that.
There must be someone here who is accountable, who can answer these concerns.
Had any of them made known to us that bail was forthcoming, they would not have been strip searched. That was not made known to us.
They knew because I told the policeman when I was calling for my bail. I said, my father is on his way for bail, and it's their responsibility to find out before they strip search you if you're going to be staying the night or not.
As a father, to hear what your daughter went through, exercising what you describe as her constitutional rights, how do you react?
I feel outraged. I feel angry. And I also feel, again, a strong sense of disappointment in the leadership in the city of New Brunswick.
What with all the controversy about the night in question, the director of police and the mayor finally decided to ask the county prosecutor to step in. A few days ago, the prosecutor's office issued this report. It says, the police department conducted itself with commendable restraint, nonpartisan professionalism, and with fidelity to preserve the public peace and safety. In putting together the report, the prosecutor talked to just about everyone involved. How many of the defendants did you talk with?
We didn't talk to any defendants because we're looking into whether or not the police followed the proper procedure.
Did the women have to be strip searched?
Police officers didn't know what to anticipate from these people. They didn't know whether or not they were going to post bail or not at the time that they strip searched them. So they did it for the females, and they would have done it for the males. But before they had the need to, bail was posted.
I was wondering, why are they allowed to do this? All I was doing was demonstrating in support of the homeless.
They wanted the confrontation with the police officer, and when they didn't get it, when they weren't able to show scars, or they weren't able to show ripped clothing, or when they were treated with kid gloves by the police, they came up with another scenario.
Asking for this?
I think so. I have a feeling.
The dangerous message is being sent out that people who disagree, that people who engage in legitimate protest, that they will be dealt with by the New Brunswick police the same way that these students were dealt with.
An independent investigation is now being conducted by the Office of Inmate Advocacy on behalf of the women. By the way, the shelter for the homeless was reopened.